Oh,
Alright, Final Fantasy Type 0. Yet again, another video game manga. I gotta make more variety here. Anyways, I really like this cover. I like that the color on the characters is flat, and the background is detailed. I like that there's technically only 4 colors in this palette. Okay, for the back. The cadets of Academia's Class 0 are legend, with strength and magic unrivaled, and crimson capes symbolizing the great vermilion bird of the Dominion. But will their elite training be enough to keep them alive when war breaks out and the Class 0 cadets find themselves at the front and center of a bloody political battle? Okay, so we have a military school story here. First off, I noticed everybody's so moody. Well, except one guy. Here's a great way to explain this manga. Take the rebels versus powerful company from Final Fantasy VII and the school of soldiers from Final Fantasy VIII. Combine those, you get this. As the back says, this is about a team of soldiers in a war. Unfortunately, this manga has no world building, no lore, and the settings are just the battlefield and rooms in the school. This entire manga revolves around this entire team. And I think there's 12 of them. There's so many of them, I didn't know who was who. I'm gonna jump right into the art style, what goes hand in hand to what I just said. The art style suffers from same face syndrome, and with 12 characters, it was so hard to follow what was going on. Although the art style is good, there is little to no facial expressions, and the poses are a little dull when fighting. Sometimes there are some proportional issues, but there's not a lot of them. The antagonist's designs look awesome. But again, there are so many characters, it's overwhelming. There are even side characters to aid this team. With so many characters, there's not a lot of time for them to shine, and it makes the pacing go quick. This manga is very rushed. That's why the story, plot, and characters are so vague. The manga jumps around too, from characters explaining a battle, to side characters in trouble, back to the main characters, then into the battle. Speaking of the battles, the choreography is very rushed, confusing, and instant. These soldiers are mentioned that they are the best, and I wanted to see them be awesome. But when a threat shows up, everyone gets into action poses, only for the battle to end with a magical spell. There are 2 battles that last longer, but unfortunately are confusing to follow. They're slow and boring too, which was disappointing. I didn't get to see how amazing this team was supposed to be, and I didn't see anything to believe that. Which brings me to the dialogue. From start to finish, I'm told this team is the best. This manga is telling and not showing. I don't know if this was planned or just coincidence, but having side characters with lesser skills around the team doesn't make them amazing. If you're writing manga or a story in general, putting supposed awesome characters around bimbos doesn't make your character great. What comes out of the character's mouth doesn't really matter. There's no emotion and only info dumping. The speech bubbles could be swapped with anyone. It wouldn't make a difference. There are even panels with only speech bubbles, which proves my point. The way the information and situations are explained was dull and was not clearly thought out. For example, the team was ready for a mission, and out in the battlefield, a character says he doesn't remember the plan, so it's explained on the battlefield during a fight. Chapter 3 in the beginning has political babble. If anything, some of the plot is being revealed, but I was just more confused because of the names. I didn't know if they were people or places. It's not explained. I know I've been talking bad about this manga, but there's a really awesome concept to this, and I wish this was more of the focus. When someone dies, their memory vanishes from the other characters' minds. A character brings up about sacrifice and how it loses its value because no one will remember what they did or what they went through. That concept gives more depth because these characters are soldiers in war. If this was more of the focus, this could have been a tearjerker story. After reading this, I found out that this manga comes with the collector's edition of this game. I don't own the game, so I don't know how I own this. So then I did some homework. This manga goes hand in hand with the video game in ways that it's the perspective of the actual main character. It even gives backstory to some of the characters, which isn't mentioned in the game. This manga takes a lighthearted approach where the game is dark. Because I didn't play the game, I felt like I was missing another book to the story. So my rating, 5 being neutral and 10 being the best thing I've ever read, I give Final Fantasy Type 0 a 2. I don't know if this is fair because the manga is part of something else. But at the same time, the manga tries to aid newcomers. Because I like the Final Fantasy series, I took that concept away. When I turned the page, what was I looking for? Well, I wanted it to just end. I wasn't looking for anything. Could a rushed story be tolerated if you love the series?